Do you have any supernatural experiences?
So I went to Nashville to a scientific conference. I got to this hotel, and I didn't know that the downtown wasn't good. There were lots of abandoned buildings. It was pretty crime-ridden, not a fun place. So I walked in, but the lobby was beautiful. They'd completely redone it. I went into my room. It was kind of ratty, but it was okay. Put my computer on the bed, put my luggage on the bed, and went out to have some barbecue. And so then I came back, got into my room, and my graduate student came along. I walked in, and all the drawers in the cabinets were open. And not just a little bit open, completely open. But my computer was still on the bed, and so was the luggage. And I thought, well, that's weird. If someone came in here to steal something, why didn't they take the computer? That'd be the logical thing to do. So we closed all the drawers. We thought maybe a big truck went by, and that's a pretty stupid hypothesis. We kind of shook the cabinet to see if we could get the doors to open. We'd shut all the drawers. And when we turned around, the damn drawer on the desk was open again. So we shut that. The drawer was open in the middle little cabinet between the beds too, and there was a Gideon Bible in there, and it was open to the line that says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." And I thought, well, that was pretty interesting. I closed that, closed the door. Graduate student left. I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was weird, but right. Whatever. So then I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I thought, that wasn't just weird. That was really weird. It was like someone was in my room, right? Because otherwise, why were the drawers open? And why were they open? What's going on? The next morning, I went downstairs to this black girl behind the counter. I walked up and I said, look, I don't want to alarm you. I went out last night, and when I came back, all the drawers were open. I think someone was in my room. And she said, I don't want to alarm you, but we know this place is haunted. And I always come to work with a baseball bat. And I thought, oh, well, of all the responses I thought I would get.
Is that more terrifying?
Well, it was surreal, right? It was like a movie moment. It was ridiculous. I went and talked to my graduate advisor, and he said that the night before he had taken a shower, and when he came out, there were 2 drawers open in his room. And so
these damn drawer opening doors.
Okay. And I'll finish this off with the other weird part of this story, which isn't quite so ghostly, but is also extremely weird. So we went for breakfast the next day, and I took 2 different graduate students for breakfast. We went to this huge restaurant, probably sat 300-400 people, and I looked in the restaurant. There wasn't a single person there. And there was this steam table full of stainless steel trays, huge trays. And all there was mac and cheese and green beans. And you know what green beans are like if they're soaking in hot water for an hour. It's you don't want to eat those things. So we're sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there for half an hour. And finally this waiter walks by, and we stop and we say, well, do you have any menus? He says, well, we don't have menus. Well, what do you mean you don't have menus? He said, you can just order anything you want.
What?
And I said, well, you mean anything? He said, yeah, you just order anything you want and we'll cook it. So we ordered eggs and breakfast. We waited and we waited and we waited and we waited. It was 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Nobody's there.
No one's there.
No
one's there. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Finally, he comes out. He puts the plate down in front of me, and it's quite nicely garnished, and there's 2 eggs on it. They are raw. And it was the same with the other 2 people that were there. They gave them eggs that had just been put on the plate. We called him back over. We said, these eggs are raw. They're not cooked. It's what's going on? He said, oh, we'll fix that. So then he went off into the kitchen, and it was 20 minutes later, and he brought it back, and they were cooked. And so we'd been in there for 2 hours by that point, late for the conference, and I was laughing to my students. I said, well, the only thing that could possibly top that off is if it was ridiculously expensive. So then he brought the bill. It was $83.
Oh, wow. But was he a ghost?
Well, I don't know. Well, he wasn't a waiter, that's for sure, and he certainly wasn't a cook.